them doing their thing in the system. It's an easy way. Or if you have in the field somewhere where we can actually do switching, not live switching, but a demo area where you do that, then we can practice there.
Okay. So how do we do you have quizzes? Is there an exam? How will we measure learning at the end of the class?
Sure, there'll be an assessment,
Okay.
and just on the concepts. And if you have that demo area, we can do an actual live assessment with an actual switching routine based on a switch log you've given me.
Okay.
Word association.
So,
Fall.
One of the things that I've heard from feedback on our other courses is the operators don't feel like our scenarios are realistic enough, that they don't really apply to them and real-time operations and what really goes on. How are you going to solve for that, making the scenarios as realistic as possible?
Actually, I could sit down with them and ask them, what are you looking for? And in a situational awareness type environment, and then build from there.
Okay.
So we can have kind of like a pre-meeting with them, and then I can develop from there.
Okay. And then after the course is completed, is there any way that we can see if change really occurred, if they're actually using this technique once they're back out on the floor?
I think that's really going to come down to continuing education with your supervisors on shift, seeing that the operators are actually doing this, and over time, watching those errors come down.
Okay. And then is there an initial training, an introductory training, and then we follow up with some annual refresher training? Is that how you have it set up?
I could.
Okay. And then what about, I'm really interested in learning more about computer-based training. Do you have that option? Can we do an instructor-led for the initial and computer-based for the refresher trainings? Or
yeah, absolutely. I would have no issue. I come with a PowerPoint, slide presentation. I would have no issue, giving that to you when I'm done, that they can refresh on.
So training the trainer for the instructor-led. Okay. I've heard that PowerPoint's a little boring, that the operators really want some different options from just PowerPoint. So what kind of things do you do in the classroom to really engage them and give them the training that they need without the PowerPoint? Do you have exercises?
Again, the simulations.
Work?
I think the simulations are the best way to go with that.
Okay. How does that look? Is that role play, or is that, what kind of simulations are you talking about?
I could show how, if you don't do the switching in the correct order, how it will take a transformer or a transmission line out of service, and the effect that'll have on it by you not being cut into that 1 minute matters.
All right.
It's very bright. Did we cover?
So the human performance is a really big topic. How did your company come up with this technique? It's just almost overwhelming, the number of techniques that people have to increase human performance and reduce errors. How did you guys come up with this technique?
I think just looking at the historic events, through the country, and the I should say unfortunate events where people have gotten injured or killed, coming up with a technique that, okay, wait a minute, what am I doing right now? What am I trying to do? What is going to be the outcome? I should know that before I do anything. And making sure in my surroundings, everything's in order for me to do what I'm going to do. And you can't put a price on somebody's life. I don't want to be that person who's walking in the grocery store past somebody's wife and their husband was killed because I didn't do something right out in the field. So that's oh, I was going so good.
Let's keep going.
Just keep going. Roll tape.
So how did you come up with the name 1 minute? Is that how long it takes to do the technique, or how did you come up with that?
1 minute is really kind of the catchphrase. I mean, obviously we don't sit there with a timer and say, okay, I got 1 minute to make sure my grounding strap is on the platform and my switch is ready to go. It's just the awareness of take the time to make sure your situation is ready to go for what you need to do.
And is the technique, is it observable? Is it something that the managers could follow up on and actually see them doing
Absolutely.
in the field?
Absolutely. Specifically in the field, because most people have a designated way to switch and how they do things. And if everybody is aware of what that technique is, they can watch somebody with a checklist or whatever it may be and say, hey, wait a minute, they didn't do that.
So how did you decide to present this technique to me today? Is it your favorite? Have you had the most success with it?
We have. And I think it's probably one of the easier to remember.
Did you guys do the first couple of questions?
Yeah, we did in the beginning. We covered the objectives and
Have we covered how the operators gonna have to buy in? Did we do that one?
I think we talked about it a little bit, but we can do some more questions, more takes on that.
That was one of the biggies, I know,
Mm-hmm.
why should,
So Kevin, this sounds great. And, I have a training background, so I strongly believe in instructor-led training. I understand your learning objectives are great, the technique, it all sounds like everything is in place. I have to tell you, my short time here, my operators are pretty judgmental when it comes to the way that we deliver new information. They're just maybe critical is a better word. They're just they feel like that they already know everything, that they're already doing everything correctly, but our numbers are showing differently. So what kind of buy-in do you usually experience when you're other companies that you sell this to, that they when they deliver the training? How do you get the buy-in from the operators?
Well, I got a chart actually I didn't show you. Let me go back here. This is rough. Put this back here. So in other companies we've gone back and measured after doing the whole 1 minute matters presentation. Here we've got the red line here indicates accidents, number of accidents, and the blue one's the number of errors, and the green one is the awareness. So as people have use this technique, we see that the accidents and the errors go down, and their awareness becomes far more prevalent and goes up. And you kind of get that wow factor when you show them the results.
Okay, great.
That was almost Saturday Night Live.